Cowboys' defense making progress, but they haven't been in the fire yet. OXNARD, Calif, the sounds are a little different this year around the Dallas Cowboys training camp facility. It's not difficult to find the defensive meeting room during the day. First-time defensive coordinator Christian Parker is putting his stamp on his new group. The communication issues of a year ago are unlikely to be repeated this coming season.
Tired of constantly refilling your pet's water bowl? This filtered fountain keeps water circulating and offers a generous capacity, giving cats and small dogs convenient access to flowing water. Want to get the best verified deal and see full details? Visit grabdeal.us/5 right now.
Advertisement, while the constant talking pre-snap is noticeable during practice, the 34-year-old Parker has the group using that same intensity when they're preparing off the field. And the decibel level sometimes gets so loud that it impacts what others are doing nearby. It felt like playing on the road, Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott said of a recent offensive meeting. We were just trying to install our offense, and it was loud and intense. You feel that on that side of the ball. That unit is giving you that. You want to do the same on offense. Nothing but good things to say about that unit. Parker wants his players to be trained to talk the same whether it's a game, practice, or meeting. If we're showing a play from practice, for example, if you're a linebacker on the field, you're making the front adjustment, Parker explained. If you're an outside linebacker and you see that the Y is off, you're saying something to your partner. If I'm a DB, I'm calling out the coverage communication. We're alerting this, we're passing off this. Once the play starts, what is that communication? We want the meeting room to sound the same as it does on the field. Your brain doesn't know when you're not taking a physical rep. It just knows that your brain is strained. So as many reps that we can get on task on that as possible, we want to try to take advantage of those in that space. Cowboys coach and offensive play caller Brian Schottenheimer has been working in the NFL for over 25 years. Parker's way of teaching communication jumps out to him. It's loud in a good way, Schottenheimer said. I love what he says and how he refers to it as its two parts, giving and receiving. You just can't be blurting out a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter and confusing people. You got to give it, you got to receive it. Advertisement, and then there's the nonverbal part, which I think that's the thing that has probably caught me the most. We all talk about communication, the importance of it, but the way the defensive staff talks about is there's no audio on the practice film. So therefore, the visual hand signals of things are critical because otherwise you can say, yeah, I said it. But if you don't visually give the signal, then how do we know if you said it when the music's playing stuff? I think it's really cool how they preach that. Parker understands that someone walking by their meeting room might think something is wrong. I can't just be aimlessly yelling and saying a bunch of things if I don't know who I'm talking to, he said. What those words mean, how that changes things, when we can adjust something, when we can't. We still have more to go, but there's a lot of encouraging things that are happening from a vocal standpoint. Parker is taking over a mess. The 2025 Cowboys were probably the worst defense in franchise history. Trading superstar, pass rusher Micah Parsons a week before the season started obviously didn't help. They've made moves to improve the defensive roster, and they're likely not done. It would not be surprising to see Dallas add another edge rusher or inside linebacker before Week 1. But it remains to be seen if those additions could be as impactful as trading for an elite pass rusher, such as Max Crosby, or potentially signing 37-year-old Von Miller, MVP of Super Bowl 50. If the season started this weekend, the defensive starters would likely be Rashan Gary and Donovan Ezeruaku at outside linebacker edge rushers, Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark as the interior defensive linemen, DeMarvion Overshone and D. Winters at inside linebacker, Deron Bland and Kobe Durant at outside cornerback, Caleb Downs at nickel cornerback, and Jalen Thompson and Malik Hooker at safety. Advertisement, regardless of that being the starting group or potential future upgrades, Parker appears to be laying a quality foundation. I think the first thing is we want to be detailed in our work, and our fundamentals and technique, and obviously the mastery of the scheme, he said Wednesday. but there's an element of violence and physicality that we want to play with that we will play with. So I think it's just kind of tying all those things together in terms of knowing your job, knowing what the man next to you is doing, who you are connected to, are you on an island on that certain play? And then doing that with an attitude and the physicality required to play this game. It's difficult to project how much improvement the defense will display this season. It has played well in training camp since full pads came on Monday, but last year's defense had good days at camp, too. We'll get a much better idea Tuesday when the Cowboys travel roughly 40 miles east to the Lowe's Angels-Rams practice facility for a joint practice. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford, the reigning NFL MVP, didn't even participate in the team's joint practice last year, and the Rams still did whatever they wanted on offense. I think it's real important, especially as much experience as coach Sean McVay has and Matthew Stafford at that position, Parker said. The pre-snap looks and the motions and the things they do formationally. They've been a very successful offense during his tenure there. So it's going to be a good test for us of where we're at and make sure our eyes are right and we're playing with the right demeanor. Parker is expected to call the defense during that practice as he has been during all camp practices, from the sideline on a handheld radio. It's still to be determined if he will call the defense this season from the sideline or from the coaching booth. Schottenheimer said Thursday that, in a perfect world, he'll be down on the sideline. Parker isn't one to heap significant praise on anything that's happening in camp practices. Things appear to be moving in the right direction. But he knows the defense and his first year on the job will be judged by the results on Sunday. His views on that seem to line up with his response to a recent question about whether there are players he thinks have a similar leadership style as he does. We'll wait to answer that, Parker said.